why creators stay broke, even with millions of views. And so this is a lesson that I learned from a guy that had 505,000 subscribers, millions of views on his channel at some points in some videos, and is broke. Now let's explain the story of that guy a little bit, and let's explain some lessons that I took from it. So the story of that guy is he gained most of his views and subscribers through doing social experiments, doing pranks, doing that era of YouTube, right? And the current subscribers he has are from that era, and some of them are from different stints that he went into. So he deviated from that, went into gaming, from gaming went into more talking one to one, from talking one to one to doing this and doing that. And so that segments the viewer. So some of the subscribers are from this, some of the subscribers are from that, and they all could have been massively successful, but because he did all of them, they weren't. So it's pick a lane, stick to your lane in terms of the lessons. Pick a lane, stick to your lane, and carry down it. Now, the reason why I broaden it and I say why creators stay broke even with millions of views is because most people create without a purpose. Most people gain an audience without anything to align them to. Most people, say for example, I'll make a real live example of my life, my philosophy, and why Legacy Africa exists. So, Legacy Africa, this tea right here is made from the finest materials in South Africa, and I was able to get it started with no capital coming out of pocket through pre-orders and just a system that I created for myself in order to be able to put myself in a position where I'm wearing this thing and it exists, and I'm beginning to work on it while also creating this audience. Why? Because I figured that at some point in time, if I'm dependent on, which is something that he mentioned, and this is why I made a difference between why he thinks he's broke and why I think he's broke. And this is not just applicable to him. So I'm not really trying to like be harsh on the guy, or be negative, or be whatever, right? But there are obviously lessons that can be learned from whatever the situation was. And the situation was that even within that video, he's still talking about like, well, brands don't want to work with you if X, and if you post more often and you do this and you do that, then brands are going to want to. I'm like, that's cool, and people do a lot and they make a lot of money through social media, very specifically, without owning anything, without having any sort of brand power or any sort of back end monetization system. However, if you're thinking in terms of brands, and that's the ultimate way that you're thinking about getting to the money, in my view, you're not thinking as high leverage as you could. That's all the point I want to make about that. So again, not to harp on the guy, not to think negatively. Like, who am I? What do I know? So on the other side of it, there is the version of you that does have some sort of back end, does have some sort of funnel. And this is why we talk about audience without alignment is useless. Because the things that you talk about, right? We look at where that 505K came from. That came from pranks. It came from dating tips, whatever. It came from that type of stuff, right? And what he sold on the back end of that was the like dating coaching programs and this and that. You then switch over and you do games. You then switch over and you do this, you do that. Now, the issue that happens when you do that is, number one, you segment. So, different people came from different things and they'll stop watching. So the viewership is going to go down, but the subscribers perhaps stay up. And that's why you're still able to work with certain brands, because your viewership might still be decent. um, but what you're failing ultimately is your core customer. Now, if you think about it from a business perspective, you think about like with audience and alignment. I talk about the things that I talk about because I know the type of person that will listen to those things, and whether they are there now at a point where they are not an entrepreneur, or they are in spaces where they know entrepreneurs. Whenever business is mentioned, whenever people who are coming up are mentioned, whenever like systems are mentioned, whenever people want a certain type of conventional wisdom, a certain type of mindset, they will think of me and they will mention me perhaps to that person. Why? Because I give a lot of free value away. I'm right now building tools that are for entrepreneurs. Like, everything that I'm doing is about that core customer that you're trying to serve. This is how someone can go with 1,000 subscribers and make 1 million, and someone else can have 1 million subscribers and YouTube will pay them 1,000. So what I'm trying to get to is, again, audience without alignment is useless. So it's not just about getting the subscriber count up and the vanity metrics, the views and this and that. I know I talked about them in the beginning for the sake of validating in some sort of way why I feel that I can speak on this topic in some way, shape, or form. Um, but ultimately, those things are not directly correlated to success. Success is you being able to get the right people to view your things at the right time and to stick around. You can get the right people to stick around and you can get those people to work with you. Views are not equal to customers, you know? And so you need to have the correct people there for the right reasons. Right now, if I went for virality, ran through the streets, slapped a grandma in the face, and ran away, probably millions of views. Of those views, what percentage of them are entrepreneurs? Of those entrepreneurs that do see the thing, what percentage of them are going to be more likely to work with me because I slapped a grandmother in the face from running through? So, extreme example, but the point still stands, that is going for virality. And also, with that being said, comparing yourself to creators that are comedians, to comparing your viewership to entertainers is ridiculous. And I think that's why this topic stood out to me today, because I was thinking about it as I was walking home from the gym. It is ridiculous to compare yourself to people who are doing something different than you, especially when what you're doing is specifically aimed at an uncommon view. It's like it's aimed, like the things that I talk about are quite uncommon views. They're quite uncommon and unconventional ways of thinking. Most people are conventional, hence it's called being conventional. Most people are the norm. Most people are the average. So if you talk about how to be exceptional, how to think exceptionally, how to behave exceptionally, then the people who are going to listen to your thing are going to be the exception. And so, in terms of viewership, in terms of subscribership, followers, all those things must mean damn near nothing to you. I mean, it's okay to be doing really well and to follow the metrics, but you need to make sure that those metrics are converting to people who actually are paying attention to what you're saying and are gaining something from what you're saying. And don't deviate from those core things that give value to your people, because those people are the people that you can help the most. And that is what's going to allow you to create value in the marketplace, and that's going to allow you to create, like, creating value in the marketplace is what's going to allow you to capture some of that value. That's the idea. The idea is, I'm going to make the world a better place, and in my making the world a better place, the system will reward me for doing something good for everyone, with with a little piece of that good. People don't realize, for example, in brand creation, or in creating any sort of physical product, there is a set amount that has to go to creating the thing. Of the profits of selling the thing, there's a set amount that has to be reinvested into creating the thing. There's a set amount that it costs just to produce it. There's a certain amount that you're gonna have to eventually upgrade, and you start doing your packaging really well. You start doing your deliveries. You start doing, and you're trying to smoothen out the customer experiences. There might be returns. There might be this. There might be that, and you're finding yourself going from perhaps a technician to now you're learning about a different game, the game of business. So going all the way back, that alignment and not capturing it while you're growing, and not capturing it in terms of who you're spreading your message to and what you're saying, that is the reason why most creators stay broke. That's the reason why most creators don't make money, because they hop around from thing to thing. They're not consistent with how much they create, how much they put out, um, and they have no systems to actually monetize that viewership. They're purely dependent on getting things from other people. And no, not to say that that's a wrong thing or a bad thing. I mean, I know plenty of people that have become millionaires through affiliation, through the entertainment industry, people that you'd be surprised that I know personally. And I've seen them, make it out and do something and make something of themselves, and go branch off into acting careers and doing this and that. If that's the path that you want, then 100%. But if you're someone who's more so interested in creating some sort of a business and monetizing the audience itself, rather than wanting to get some sort of monetary gain sponsorship wise, for having the audience, but monetizing the audience itself, if that's the aim at the end of the day, then you're going to need to stick to certain things. You're going to need to know who you serve. You're going to need to serve them really, really well. Um, Realize that audience without alignment is useless. And that is why most creators stay broke, even with millions of views. Thank you. I've been Sage. If you did in fact enjoy today's video, then please, hopefully you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, then Legacy Africa Instagram down in the description. Go check it out. There's a story down there. You can DM us. We can have a conversation back and forth, and we definitely have some free tools for you, that you're going to be able to use to hopefully grow, what you have going on. If you need any additional help, then continue to talk to that page. We have more stuff for you. If you're not an entrepreneur, you know an entrepreneur, share this video to them. If you did in fact enjoy the video, please hit the subscribe button. I've been Sage, standing on business. Signing out.